Imagine this. You didn't ask for it. You didn't seek it. You were simply being who you are. And still, he noticed you. He's married. He wears the ring. He has a life, a story, a commitment that was made long before your path crossed his. But something in the way he looks at you lingers. There's a pause when he speaks to you. A softness that wasn't there before. And deep down you feel it. He wants you, but not just your body. Not in a shallow passing way. It's something else. Something he may not even understand himself. Something that unsettles both of you. What happens when a man who made vows to someone else starts to feel something he can't explain for you? What happens when you feel it too? This is not about scandal. It's not about infidelity. It's about the soul's magnetic pull and what it reveals. Carl Jung once said, "What you resist not only persists, but will grow in size." And what we often resist the most is the mirror. Because sometimes, you're not just another woman. You're the mirror he spent a lifetime avoiding. You awaken something that he buried under obligation, under routine, under years of pretending to be someone he never fully became. He may not know how to name it, but you feel it in how he lingers when you speak, in how he listens just a little too deeply, in how he laughs differently around you, because you stir the forgotten, the younger version of him, the freer version, the part he silenced when he became a husband, a provider, a man who does what is expected. But now he feels again, and that changes everything. You didn't plan for this. You may even feel ashamed for sensing it. But this isn't about guilt. It's about energy. And energy doesn't lie. He's drawn to you because you represent something he's missing in his own life. Not just passion, but presence. Not just attraction, but aliveness. You remind him of something he once was, or dreamed of becoming. You reflect back the part of his soul that was abandoned in exchange for safety, for stability, for marriage, and now that part is awake, and it's looking at you. You may be thinking, if he wants me, why doesn't he leave her? Why doesn't he choose me? Because the truth is painful. It's easier to flirt with freedom than to live it. It's safer to project his longing onto you than to dismantle the structure he built with someone else. And the hard truth is that some men don't want to be free. They want to taste it, to feel it through you, to awaken something in themselves without paying the cost of choosing it. Carl Jung called this the projection of the anima, the feminine ideal, not as a person, but as a symbolic part of his own psyche. You become that anima. You are not just you are everything he feels is missing within himself. And that's why he wants you, even though he's married. But here's the part no one talks about. That energy can be intoxicating, not just for him, but for you. Because when a man looks at you like you're everything he's ever needed, when he listens like your words are sacred, when he shows you the softness he hides from the world, you feel wanted in a way that's rare, in a way that feels like destiny, even if it's not meant to be. But the danger lies in this. You start to believe that his desire validates your worth. You start to mistake his longing for love. You begin to carry the weight of what could have been instead of what actually is. And that is the trap. Because his feelings may be real, but that doesn't mean they're right, or fair, or meant to be followed. He wants you. Yes, but does he have the courage to meet you, not just in passion, but in truth, not just in secrecy, but in soul? Many women find themselves stuck in this emotional limbo, feeling deeply connected to someone who is already committed, and they wonder, was I meant to be his, even if I wasn't chosen? Here's the truth. You may have awakened something sacred in him, but that does not mean you're responsible for saving him. You are not here to carry his transformation. Are not here to be the secret softness in his life while he lives another truth. The moment he made vows to someone else, he created a world with rules. And if he wants to change that world, he must have the integrity to do it on his own without dragging your heart through the shadows. You are not a test. You are not a lesson. You are a woman with a soul. And that soul deserves to be chosen fully, not partially, with clarity, not confusion. If a man is drawn to you even though he's married, it says more about him than it does about you. It speaks to the parts of himself that were never resolved, to the fire he denied, to the love he never gave himself. And while his gaze may make you feel seen, you must ask yourself, is he seeing you or what you reflect back to him? The answer to that question holds everything. Because being wanted is not the same as being loved. Being desired is not the same as being held. And being chosen, truly chosen, requires a level of courage that many men never reach. He wants you because you woke something up in him. You reminded him that he is still alive, that there are still feelings in him he thought were long gone, that something real can still stir in the silence. But that awakening wasn't just for him, it was also a mirror for you. Because when you stir something in someone else, you are also being called to awaken something in yourself. Maybe it's your own longing, maybe it's your own desire to be seen, maybe it's a truth you've buried beneath logic and shame. Whatever it is, it's rising now, and it deserves your attention. Asterisk. So before you hold on to what he felt, hold on to what you felt. Not just for him, but for yourself in his presence. What part of you came alive? What emotion did you finally allow? What dream did his gaze bring back to the surface? Because this isn't just about his desire, it's about your awakening. And you don't need his permission to follow it. You don't need to be chosen to be worthy. You are already whole, already magnetic, already enough, even without him, especially without him. If this message resonates, it's not by accident. Most people feel lost in emotional patterns they can't name or break. The Jung Method helps you understand the hidden energies behind your relationships. The link is pinned in the first comment. Now, let's go deeper. He wants you even though he's married, and now you're left holding something fragile. Not a relationship, not a promise, but a feeling that refuses to leave. You replay the moments, the way he looked at you like you were the answer to a question he had never asked out loud, the way your body responded, the way your heart felt both terrified and alive. And somewhere in that emotional chaos, you start to question your own clarity. Did he love me? Was I just a phase? Was I wrong to feel this? But maybe those are the wrong questions. Maybe it's not about whether he loved you, but whether you recognized something in him that mirrored what you had forgotten about yourself. Sometimes, the people who come into our lives don't arrive to stay. They arrive to awaken, to stir the stagnant, to shake the dust off our hearts. And then they leave. Not because you weren't enough, but because the lesson was complete. You might have been the first place in years where he felt seen, but that doesn't mean he had the capacity to stay. Seeing someone and being able to build something real with them are two very different things. He may have wanted you, but did he ever offer himself to you fully? Did he ever say, "I'm willing to risk everything for this connection"? Or was it always half light, half truth? This is where many women lose themselves. In the in-between, in the almost, in the maybes. He touched something real in you. But if he never showed up with truth, with choice, with action, then what he gave was only the echo of what could have been, not the reality of love, but the shadow of longing. Carl Jung spoke of how we project our unlived parts onto others. He called it the meeting of souls through the unconscious. You may have carried for him the image of freedom, of passion, of something lost in time. But was he ever ready to hold the mirror you placed before him? And deeper still, are you ready to hold the mirror up to yourself? You see, when a man who is married is drawn to you, what he sees might not be you alone. He sees the fire he extinguished in himself, the path he never took, the younger version of him that still wanted to feel, to risk, to desire deeply. And you, with your presence, your light, your energy, you wake that up. But here's what no one tells you. Sometimes, the one who awakens the soul is not the one meant to walk beside it. Sometimes, you were only meant to be the moment of clarity in someone else's fog, the flame that reminds them they're still alive. That does not mean you weren't important, it means you were sacred. So sacred, in fact, that he could not handle the weight of your truth. And now, you carry that moment like a secret, like something both beautiful and unfinished. And it hurts, because you didn't just want his attention, you wanted his courage. You wanted him to choose you, not just with glances, but with presence. Not just in passing, but in permanence. And when he didn't, it left you questioning not him, but yourself. This is the wound that must be seen, because when someone sees you, when someone connects with your soul, but then steps back into a life that no longer fits, you feel abandoned by something you thought was destiny. But maybe this wasn't about being chosen. Maybe it was about remembering that you already were, not by him, but by your own life, your own path, your own inner knowing. The part of you that came alive in his presence wasn't created by him, it was revealed. And that's the difference, because now that it's been awakened, it's yours. You don't need his return to validate it. You don't need his choice to prove it was real. You are not a woman who waits in the shadows. You are not someone's secret light. You are a whole soul, a complete presence, and you deserve to be met, not visited. to be held, not imagined. Let's speak to the part of you that still wonders. Yes, he felt it. Yes, it meant something. No, you didn't imagine it. But also, no, it wasn't yours to carry alone. If he chose comfort over connection, that is his pattern. If he ran from the mirror, that is his fear. You cannot keep chasing someone who is hiding from himself. Let his silence be his answer. Let his absence be your permission to return to your own truth. Because the deeper work now is not about understanding him. It's about facing the part of you that still waits. The part that believes love must come through suffering. The part that accepts half love and calls it fate. You deserve more than to be a man's awakening. You deserve to be met in your fullness, with eyes that do not look away, with hands that do not hesitate, with a heart that does not hide behind vows made in fear. This is where your power begins. You reclaim the energy you gave away. You call back the parts of yourself that got entangled in his longing, and you turn inward. You ask yourself, what did I feel in his presence that I want to feel again? What did he reflect back that I now need to embody for myself? And you become it. You stop waiting. You start creating. You step into your own fire. Because if he could see the light in you, so can others. So can the one who is not afraid. The one who chooses you without needing to lose himself first. Carl Jung said the privilege of a lifetime is to become who you truly are. And that is what this experience was always pointing you toward. Not him, but you. The truth of you. The wholeness of you. You didn't need his love to be worthy. You didn't need his presence to be powerful. You only needed the reminder, and now you have it. Let him go with grace. Not because it didn't matter, but because you matter more. And as you walk forward, you carry not regret, but remembrance of how deeply you can feel, of how brightly you can shine, of how alive you truly are when you stop shrinking for someone else's comfort. You are not the pause in someone else's life. You are the pulse in your own. And your story is not over. It's just beginning. Without waiting, without apology, without needing someone to finally choose you. You choose you now always.